more closure for some families as more hostage remains are handed over by Hamas. The group has returned the remains of 8 hostages, but now say they need special equipment to find and extract the remains of the other 20. Both the hostage families and Israel say this is a violation of the ceasefire, and some Israeli officials are saying it could stall phase 2 of the peace talks. It comes as President Trump is now working to end another war, the one between Russia and Ukraine. The president speaking with Vladimir Putin right now. Foreign correspondent Robert Sherman is live for us in Tel Aviv. Robert, when it comes to the situation in Gaza, Hamas is saying they've done all they can at this point to return the hostage remains.
Which is not an answer that is sitting well with hostage families. And there's a point of emphasis coming from them today here, Nichole. This is not over. Of course, there's the jubilation and the celebrations that have come from those 20 living hostages coming out. But there is not closure across the board here for Israelis. What you're seeing on the ground today, there have been funerals taking place for those hostages whose remains have been returned. But at this juncture, there are more remains that are still in Gaza than are back here in Israel. Among the remains that are still not back, 2 Americans, Itai Hen, as well as Omer Nutra. There is a point of emphasis that is coming from American officials. Nobody is going to get left behind, and that they will be working with international partners in order to retrieve all of these remains that are still inside of Gaza. The president was asked about this, and this is what he said. Take a listen.
We have the living hostages all back. They returned some more today. It's a gruesome process. Some are in tunnels that died in tunnels that are way down under the earth.
There's a stern statement out from the Hostage and Missing Families Forum today, which reads, while Hamas continues to violate the agreement, it still holds 19 hostages captive. There is no justification for any unilateral concessions by Israel. The agreement cannot continue to be implemented without Hamas returning all the hostages. And worth noting, President Trump did say in an interview this week that if Hamas does not uphold its end of the agreement, Israel does have the green light to go back into Gaza. Nichole.
And Robert, when it comes to this other war, the president speaking with Vladimir Putin right now, trying to end the war in Ukraine. What can we expect out of that call?
Well, I mean, you even saw it in the moments after this deal came down here in Gaza, that there is a clear shifting of focus over towards the situation in Ukraine, because that's the other major conflict that is currently ongoing. The evidence of that being that President Zelensky of Ukraine is expected to visit Washington and the White House tomorrow, with the president confirming through Truth Social while he was on the phone with Russian President Vladimir Putin that that call was ongoing. We're still waiting for the details to come back from the Kremlin and the White House on the exact specifics of that call there. But it is a major emphasis point here for the White House to put a focus on the situation that's currently ongoing in Ukraine and wind that war down as well. Nichole.
All right. Robert Sherman live for us there in Tel Aviv, following it all. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.